You don't want to go back and forth like a saw. That doesn't really work that well. So just go in one direction. Good on that side. Now let's go down this side. Take our gloves, we'll wipe away the excess. And there you go. Should be true all the way around. 3 by 6. Alright. Now, alright, let's get going here. We'll get this guy, right back there in the back. What can I do? What can I answer for you? Sure, yeah, I understand. The question was, what do you do if you cut in too far or out too far? You start over. You simply start over. You know, the whole purpose of sheet metal work in blueprints, the dimensions are there. The finished product is there. What is desired by the blueprint, by the bill of material. So that is what you want to end up with. So if it's not to what you would call specification, you're going to have to start over. And that'll lead us into a topic further down the road called scrap, rework, cost. Okay, now, what we want to do now, we've got our material, we had it transferred to our sheet metal, and now we have our sheet metal. What do we want to do next? Well, we go back and we look at our print. We've established we got 3-inch width, and we've established that we've got 6 inches of total length before it's bent. So, you look, you come down 2 inches, you've got a bend. You go over 2 inches, you got a bend. And then that should leave you with 2 inches. So, let's take our snap punch, let's take our tape measure, and let's take our material, and let's get started. Let's mark it at 2 inches. And I don't know, but I'm hoping that everybody out there in the web world can see that, but you can see 2 small indentions made by the snap punch. Good, good. Everybody's looks just like that. Now what we want to do is use the sheet metal brake. If we take the sheet metal brake and we place our material right along the edge of what they call the fingers. The fingers are to line right up on that edge of your points. You have a handle here to lock your material down so it can't move. And then you have an arm with a pivot, and you can, that's right, you can bend your material. Now, we talked about the old square once or twice. Now we're going to use the outside edge of the square. Everybody get your square. There you go. We're going to use the outside edge of the square. We're going to go a 90 off the edge of the brake up the edge of the sheet metal. To see, we might have went a little too far, so we can bend it back. There we go. Perfect 90. Now we know that, because this is 90 degrees. That's right. So, we take the part out of the sheet metal brake, and let's see how we're looking. We have our part, and we have our print. So it looks like, if you look at the end view, and you look at the side view, it looks like we're halfway there. So, now, here's the tricky part. Our part starts with 2 inches down, 2 inches over, and then 2 inches back down. So how do we achieve that? Because if we put our marks on this side, and then we bend it, we're going to end up with a U shape. We don't want that. So we have to flip it over, mark it here, and bend it up. So let's do that. Let's get out the snap punch. Let's get out the tape measure. And I'm going to come back off the edge 2 inches. because 2 inches is what we determined we needed based on the dimensions on our print. I'm going to repeat the process from a moment ago. I'm going to put our sheet metal back in here. Check our dimension and bend our part. Yeah, looks about right. Lock our vise back in place. Get our piece back out here. Put it down. Take a look at it. Yeah, I think that's going to look about right. And there you have it. One piece of formed sheet metal based on the material, based on the tooling, based on the equipment, based on the blueprint, based on safety, and we have one fabricated part. Now keep in mind, this is quite a simply designed part, not very technical by any means. But there's a couple keys here. Let's say I have to do one of these, or let's say I have to do 1,000 of these. Key, critical process. You want to be able to repeat the process on a consistent basis. Here's one I made earlier. Here's one I just now made. You want to be able to repeat that process. Now, I've proven that I can make 2 of these. Now it's your turn. We're at the point now, let's back up. We're at the point right now where every one of you should have your first dimensions laid out, snap punched, ready to bring up to the break. So let's start with this side and we'll work our way across. Okay, let's go. Okay, looks like everybody's got the handle on the sheet metal brake. We've had a couple that look pretty good. We've got some signs of some consistency, and we've had a couple that, well, as you can see, probably not quite the desired part that we're looking for. A little bit of inconsistency. But the important thing is that you're willing to try, you're willing to learn, and you're willing to take good advice. But the main thing is that we all start with 10 fingers and 10 toes. And we end this class with 10 fingers and 10 toes. Safety. Cannot stress enough that safety is the most important, most critical aspect of metalworking. And it will continue to be throughout this class. So, if you have any inhibitions about safety, taking shortcuts, this is not the type of business, this is not the type of class, this is not the type of career where these types of things can be sacrificed. So, looks like we've completed everything on our print. It looks like at this point we've established that safety is most critical. And then the next thing that's most critical is quality. The quality of your work, the definition of your process, repeatability, consistency. All those things play into your quality. All those things depend on safety. And then, finally, productivity. In a production-based setting, productivity is right there nipping at the heels of quality. They all go hand in hand. But safety's first. Now, this is a good time to take a break, address any issues, any questions that any of you may have. Yeah, go ahead. I'm glad you brought that up. Gloves. In some cases, gloves can be more of a hindrance or more of a danger. In that situation, you'll find that most people have the wrong type of glove, or the glove is either too small, or in most cases, too big. So it's very critical to have the right PPE for you, for your size, whether that be glasses, shoes, gloves, what have you. Anything else? Well, good, good. I would say based on how we evaluate ourselves today, this has been a very positive outcome. I think everybody's had a good basis for understanding a simple blueprint, understanding material, the needs of the right tooling for the right job, and the idea that safety, quality, productivity, right in that row. I think that's great. So in closing today, I think this has been a wonderful class. I appreciate all your participation. I'd like to thank everybody viewing at home. Again, I cannot stress safety in the workplace, safety in the classroom, and safety at home. Safety, safety, safety. Very key, very key. Now, before we dismiss for our next class in 2 weeks, our next class will be discussing the theory session. It'll be a theory demonstration, and 1 week prior to the next class, don't forget, your ideas must be submitted for my approval prior. So again, that's 1 week before, and that class is 2 weeks away, and it'll be on the theory demonstration. So, that concludes today's class. Unless anyone has any other thing you want to discuss? No? All right. Have a good weekend. Thank you.